Welcome everybody to Bite the Bullet. I am your host, Jay Reese. And man, oh man, I am excited today. Because first of all, a lot of times I don't really listen to the intro music, but I listened to it just now and oh yo, it got me hyped because I love that. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. I'm sorry, I'm being silly right now. But we have an awesome guest, DJ Wright. Me and him actually connected through TikTok months ago, and he has just been a really cool, awesome, dope dude that I love speaking to him every time we get to have a conversation because social media a lot of times it's just through character text and stuff like that. But with TikTok, you get to go live and have like semi conversations ish. But again, every time I talk to him, he is just a delight. He is a character, but in a good way. You know what I mean? So, DJ Wright, let me go ahead and read off his credentials so that way I can give him a proper introduction like every other guest. DJ Wright is an up and coming actor who has been featured in several music videos, short films, commercials, and plays. He has made his first magazine appearance in Inspire magazine, a helpful, mindful, body and spirit magazine that speaks about holistic care. And also, aside from acting, DJ also is pursuing acting. See, the man is a jack of all trades, and he is here today to talk with us about his challenges, his struggles, and more importantly, how he has overcome them. Because life is going to throw a whole bunch of different stuff at us, people. Regardless of what industry you are in, we all are going to face different things. And DJ isn't like some of the other guests that we have, because I think I bring on a lot of business focused or business minded people. And DJ, don't get me wrong, I know he is business minded, but I think he is the first actor that I brought on the show. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm looking for it's a fact. He is the first actor I've had on the show. So without further ado, without any more ramble, without any more, I can't think of another word. Let's bring on DJ Wright. What is up, my guy?
Yeah, what's up? That was an awesome intro. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, you're welcome, my dude. You're welcome. No problem. I try to do my best. You know what I'm saying? I want to get you hyped up. I feel like my role in the show is being like the hype man for the guests. That's kind of what I feel like.
That's good. I get what you're saying, because like usually in my group of friends, I'm the hype man. I'm always the one hyping them up. So to have someone hype me up, it kind of feels weird because I'm not the one doing it, but it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to, I can put you back in the waiting room. We can do it all over again. I can hype you up again.
All good.
All good. All right. So, DJ, let's go ahead and start with the first question. How did you get into acting? How and why did you get into acting?
So I always saw acting as something interesting ever since I was young. Like as a kid, I would go to the movies a lot, and no matter what movie I saw, I would always try to visualize myself in that film playing my favorite character.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I took drama in high school that I decided this is what I want to do. I had so much fun in that class. I decided to pursue acting as a career. So outside of school, I would take acting lessons.
Okay.
My very first play was a church play. And even after high school, I took acting in college. I went to film school for it. And started doing a bunch of student projects, a bunch of short films, and so on and so on. So from videos to commercials, and yeah.
So so I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm curious. So I know in my past, not everybody was particularly supportive of me stepping out and doing something so creative and so different. Like a lot of people wanted me to go to college. A lot of people wanted me just to get a regular job and
Yeah.
do that kind of thing, right? So did you have a support team behind you, or was this something like, you know what, I'm going to do it regardless of what people say?
Well, it's a bit of both. I did
Mm,
have a support team, but at the same time, some people felt that I should have a plan B. Some people thought that I
right.
should just pursue it as a hobby.
Hmm.
Um, but I decided, you know what, regardless of what people say, this is what I like, so I'm gonna put all my time and energy into it.
Right. And what gave you that courage, for lack of better words, to just go out there and just do it?
Hmm. It was just it was just something in me. Just I felt like hmm, it was just that motivation. I just had that drive, like
Hmm.
like from the support that I would get from people, and just
Yeah.
from watching some of my favorite movies and shows. Like it just and just picturing myself in that show or movie, like
Hmm.
that gave me the drive and the motivation to just keep going.
Okay, I get that. So let me ask, what have been some of the challenges you faced in the acting career or trying to get gigs? Because I, like we spoke prior to you actually coming out and us going live,
Yeah.
I had mentioned that I actually have an acting background, and I remember going to gig after gig, hearing no after no after no after no. And to this day, I'm kind of thankful I heard all those no's because it made my skin a little bit tougher. But
Yeah.
what are some of the challenges for you?
So yeah, like you said, I have faced rejection before.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, one of my biggest challenges is when I took acting in college, like after my first year, I didn't get promoted to second year because they felt I just wasn't ready to pursue it as a career. I
Yeah.
wasn't I wasn't performing well. They weren't sure whether or not to keep me, so I didn't
Yeah.
get promoted. I ended up leaving. I went to film school, and then I took some of those comments that I got from instructors in college and applied them to
Hmm.
when I was in film school, and I ended up doing really well over there.
Hmm.
And even in auditions, I'll apply some of that. I'll take
Hmm.
some of those same comments and apply them to my auditions.
So if we can rewind just for a
Yeah.
second, you had people who felt that you weren't ready. So they were like, you know what? We either need to hold you back or we got to figure out what to do with you because we don't feel that you can be where you want to be. And I find that funny in life. There are all these people or all these factors that try to tell us when we're right, we're not ready, when in essence we feel like we're ready. Do you remember how did you handle that?
I, I had a hard, I'm not gonna lie, I did have a hard time taking it in at
Yeah.
first,
Hmm.
but then again, I was like, you know what? I can't please everyone. So
Mm, smart.
maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm
Okay.
not meant to be here, so I'll just take my talents somewhere else.
Okay. I like that. I like that. See, you seem like you are because I know when I was your age, you're gonna. I'm like at 39 now, and like the ripe old age of 39. So, uh, back when I was in my 20s and I actually was pursuing acting, I had a drive, and I know that's what I wanted to do, but I wasn't focused. If that, you know what I mean, like so.
Yeah,
Anytime I got any type of role, or anytime someone says, you know what, I got this project, I was like, oh yeah, let me do that. Instead of me sitting there and saying, you know what, that might not be for me. Let me focus here. You know what I'm saying? I was always, if it
yeah,
was shiny, I was looking at it. So is it easy for you to stay focused? Because I know as an actor, particularly if that's your primary source of income, it's the money is easy to lead you astray, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
how do you stay focused?
I stay focused simply just by I continue to look for work just by staying
Mm,
focused. That's one
yeah.
way. Another way is I also I also write my own skits sometimes. I would write my own skits sometimes. I've put out a few on TikTok before. I have a
Hmm.
few others I might be doing soon, but
Yeah.
just to stay creative, just to stay
Hmm.
focused. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing.
Okay. And you said that you have scripts that you've put out on TikTok, and I've seen some of the scripts. Dude, I think you're hilarious. I love seeing your stuff, and I tend to wonder where do you find the courage of just putting your stuff out there? Because I know there are a lot of people who struggle with just being able to be their true selves. You don't seem to have that issue. And I'm saying that just based on the stuff I've seen on your TikTok and your lives and how you present yourself. So you don't seem to have an issue with presenting your true self.
Yeah.
Where does that strength, where does that come from? And how do you do it?
Yeah. So pretty much that strength came from years of people just trying to change me, trying to
Mm,
stop me from being me. Like I
yeah.
But there was a point in time where I could never be my crazy energetic self. People would just tell me to tone it down, or that's too much, you're doing too much.
Oh, so you're a rebel.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of that confidence came part of that came so a lot of my confidence came from that.
Yeah.
So I would write out so I would just start writing all my pain, all my hardships, all my struggles, turning them into humor and just putting it out there for everyone to see.
Oh, and see, I love what you just said. You took that pain and that negative energy and put it into a healthy place to use later to propel yourself, right? In
Yeah.
essence. So was that more of a conscious thought, or is that more of, you know what, let me just find something to do? You started writing out, like, how did that happen?
So at first I did not want to write. I did not want to get personal when it came to
Mhm.
writing. Like I
Yeah.
would try to create my own fictional stories, but
Mm,
but it turns out that a lot of people like the stories that I make based off of my real life. Some
yeah.
people have actually told me that in a sense they could relate to my stories one way or another. And so
Right.
I figured I'll just start making more I'll just create more stories based off of my real life, my pain, all my struggles, and my experience.
Oh, I see. And then a lot of oh, first of all, so writing your feelings down is a very hard process. Actually recently started journaling to do that very thing of writing my personal feelings down, because before I would journal, it would be more to get ideas out of my head. But I recently find how therapeutic it is to write those ideas down. But I know how, again, challenging and how difficult that can be. But you are also sharing what you write down.
Yeah.
How difficult was that, particularly the first time you did it?
Yeah, it was very difficult. I felt I just felt like I just felt like no I felt like wow. I just felt like no one would care, no one would listen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the most part. And it turns out, like I said, everyone everyone can relate to my stories. Everyone likes to hear about my stories. Um I know I'm taking the
No,
long
you're
pause.
you're good, man. You're good. You're good.
It's wow.
Well, I only asked that
Yeah.
question because even me as a creative person, I love sharing my creativeness. Is that a word? I don't know, but we're gonna go with it. So I love to share that stuff, right? And I know there's always a point, at least for me, where before I share with anyone, I kind of almost have to talk myself into it, you know?
Yeah.
So when I wrote my book, when I do things on TikTok, when I've done anything out in the public, there always has to be, for me, this conversation in my mind that's like, you know what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get ready. All right, let's go. I mean, it don't really sound like that, but it's kind of along those lines. I gotta hype myself up almost, right? So I tend to wonder, why share your personal stuff? Because it's one thing to share your gifts with the world and be on stage and do stuff, but then to share your own personal situations
Yeah.
is almost a completely different thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I did it because, well, for the most part, and anyone that knows me knows I have a very wacky reputation, a
Yeah.
very quirky, outgoing reputation.
Hmm.
So, and anytime I tried to be serious,
Hmm.
no one took me seriously. So
Right.
I started to write. So I started writing those stories,
Hmm.
and just to show people that there's a lot more to me than just that. Like, there's a lot more to me than from what you're used to seeing.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm more than just an actor. Like, I actually, and just a, I'm more than just a quirky person. Like, I also have my fair share of pain and flaws and hardships like everyone else.
Right. And I find it funny because, like, again, I've always wanted to entertain people. I always wanted to make people feel good, and I always want to entertain people. So as a creative person, there's so many different things that I know that I wanted to do. But it always seems like everyone else is trying to put me in a box so they can classify me.
Yeah.
Do you find the same issue?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone tries to put me in a box. Things have gotten to a point where where for some people it's hard to tell how I'm feeling because of my quirkiness. So yeah, they
Yeah.
put me in this box.
Hmm. And how are you able to deal with that? Or how do you deal with that?
I Yeah, my stories are how I deal with it.
Yeah.
Also, just by adding with the I'll still add a bit of my quirkiness in there, but for the
Hmm.
most part, it's a lot of serious stuff I wouldn't normally share with anyone.
Right.
That's my best. That's for me. That's the best way I get out I release all my pain, all
Hmm.
my anger when I can't just come out and say it.
Oh no, I get that. I think all of us need a healthy outlet for the things that are tormenting and festering us on the inside, regardless of what you're doing professionally or personally. We need some type of outlet, and I'm glad you're able to do that. And plus, turn it into content
Yeah,
to share with the world. So, like, that's a win-win, like all over the place, right?
yeah, it is.
So you were also featured in Inspire magazine. If you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about Inspire magazine and what the article was about?
So my appearance in the magazine, I
Hmm.
did it for a friend of mine, Jenny,
Hmm.
who I've also met on TikTok,
Yeah.
who has her own clinic, Mindful Health.
Yeah.
She reached out to me about acting and how it applies to my mental health and just.
Yeah.
But for the most, yeah, she interviewed me. But for the most part, it was for anyone who was having difficulty on getting started in the industry, for anyone who's just starting out. So I pretty much just gave people five different tips on how you can get started. I just gave them just five basic tips
Hmm.
on how to, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So, what are those tips? Could you share them now for any inspiring actors that might be watching now or in the future?
Yeah, no worries. The first one would be to just work on your craft. Take acting lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, take as many take acting lessons. Two, create a demo reel. Like, take footage from take any footage from class or any projects you've done outside of school and use them to put together a reel of your work. My third one would be to get headshots, get professional headshots, and try to uh, try to get try to do try to do stuff, try to dress based off of how you will be perceived in the industry. So pretty
Mm,
much your
okay.
brand, your look.
Right.
Yeah. My fourth one would be what is my fourth one? Yeah, my fourth one would be to network. Networking is also a good one.
Hmm.
Like I start looking up acting groups in your area, or or start attending networking events.
Hmm.
Just meet people, connect with them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah.
No, there was one more, right?
No, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
oh yeah, five. Oh wow, forgot about that. Um, yeah, my
mhm,
fifth one would be to create a target list, like make a list of all the agents, casting directors, producers, people that you want to meet or connect with, and
mhm,
yeah, just reach out to them through social media, or however you can, or at a networking event, however.
mhm. In a healthy, clean, unstalkery way.
Yes,
Right?
yes, you don't want to stop.
So a moment ago, I wish I had these tips when I was acting, because I did a lot of things wrong. Trust me, that's a whole nother different episode that we could have. But a moment ago, you said that it's important to dress how you want people to perceive you, right? So I bring this up because I also know that you are getting into modeling and you've done some modeling stuff.
Yeah,
How is that different from acting? Or I shouldn't say that question came out wrong. I'm sorry.
it's all good.
What do you feel the differences are between that and acting?
Acting is pretty much well, there there's only a few slight differences, but for the most part they're pretty much the same. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, actors have a specific brand. Actors will be typecasted, and so will models. It's
Yeah.
like just based off of your look is exactly
Mm-hmm.
how you'll be perceived in the business.
Right.
And it's nothing personal, it's just how someone who doesn't know you would see you.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, because I remember being so frustrated when I started acting, because I would get typecast into all these thuggish or just stereotypical roles, and it bothered me
Yeah,
so much, right? But then, which I'm not justifying how people wanted to typecast me, but I know that when I got on the other side of the table and I started doing my own productions and having to cast people, I don't think I was typecasting, but I had a certain idea of what a character was going to be based on what I had written or what my friends had written. So when people came in, I already knew what I was looking for. I just needed to find a person that fit into that mode. And that
yeah,
honestly helped me see that, oh, these people aren't necessarily judging me, but they have an idea of what they think they want that character to be. Now, again, I don't agree with anyone that is typecasting and doing stereotypical cliche characters. But at the same time, I understand, because we all have this perception of what a certain character is supposed to be. So when that person is casting, you can't help it, right?
yeah.
So at this point, I think it might be a good time to bring in the bite the bullet questions. All right. So
Awesome.
any fan of the show or anyone who hasn't seen the show, these are the bite the bullet questions. DJ has not seen these questions. He has no clue what is coming his way. I am very sure that he is quaking in his shirt right now. DJ, are you ready for these questions?
Bring it on. I'm ready. Say no more.
Oh, he said, bring it on. All right, let's go. What motivates you to do what you do?
Hmm. Just all the support that I've been getting like all the recent support I've been getting from all my friends on TikTok and from outside of social media, as well as all of the criticism that I've
Mhm.
received from people in the past in film school and
Right.
in college too. That keeps me going.
Mhm.
Also, just just the thought of wanting to work with some of my favorite people in the business keeps me
Mhm.
going.
Okay.
And yeah,
All right. I can see that. What is one common myth about your profession that you want to debunk?
that it's easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's one thing you wish you had known when you began your career?
One thing I wish I had known.
When you began acting.
Well, wish thing I had known. The one thing I wish I had known was about when I began my career was to. I wish I had learned about patience because it
Mm,
could take a really long time for an actor to get a big break.
mhm.
So I've learned about patience.
Okay. I like that. I understand that one.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Wow. Three people. Hmm.
Yes, sir. These are the bite the bullet questions.
Yeah.
We take these questions very serious, man. These are hard
Yeah.
questions.
I know. I really am biting the bullet right here. Wow. So one person
Mhm.
I wish I could have dinner with. Wow. Three people. Actually,
Three people.
three people. Wow. Hmm. Three people I wish I could have dinner with. Wow.
Mhm.
Hmm. I would say so. My three people would be one of them. One of them, as ridiculous as it may sound.
Hey, it's your choice. It's your dinner, man.
Oh, okay. Say no more.
So no judgment. No judgment.
Yeah. One person would be. Uh, hmm. I would have to go with three of my three favorite actors of mine. People,
Okay.
yeah, three. So it would be. So at number one, it would be Eddie Murphy, hands down.
Oh, okay. All right.
That is my idol. Number two would be Jim Parsons,
Oh, okay.
and then number three would be Sacha Baron Cohen.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you said why Eddie, but why Jim Parsons and why Sasha Cohen?
Just like Eddie, I've also admired their work growing up too,
Mhm.
especially Sacha. So
Yeah.
if I could just sit down and have dinner with them and just learn, like, get as much advice from them
Yeah.
on whether it's acting or
Mhm.
yeah, on acting or just to have a great time, like it's I would love to. That's
Okay.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
get that completely. What is something people would be surprised to know about you that they didn't already know?
Mm. One thing. Wow. One thing.
Mhm. I'm gonna get that little Jeopardy sound to play in the background. I wonder how much it is to license that
Yeah.
to play in the background when I start doing these questions.
Oh, that's awesome. That is a good question. Wow. One thing.
Yep.
Hmm, wow. Despite despite what you see despite what you see in my TikToks and all my videos, I mean, some people already know this, but for those who don't, I'm very introverted in real life.
And you know what? That doesn't surprise me because I find that a lot of people who are very well, I shouldn't say outgoing, people who tend to be in the spotlight or wanting to be in the spotlight tend to be that way. Like they like their privacy, they like to revert back to themselves. So, and I only say that because I know I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
What's one thing you failed at, and what did you learn from it?
Hmm. My very first runway show that I did 2 years ago.
Oh, don't tell me you fell off the runway, dog.
No, no, I didn't fall off the runway.
All right.
It's just my very first runway show.
Uh
I
huh.
was so I wasn't really enjoying myself because I had never done runway before.
Okay.
I didn't know how to walk or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So
Yeah.
before the start of the show, I was just so before the start of the show, some of the some of the directors would would show me how to walk, and I would and when they couldn't help, I would just practice my walk the whole time, and
Mm.
people were laughing at me. There were some people who were making fun of me in their native language too. So the one thing that I really learned from that was, I mean, yeah, I've learned practice, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I've also learned not to care about other people, not to worry about what they're doing, what they think,
Mm-hmm.
because I still managed to pull it off very well. And
Yeah.
I even got offered to do another runway show after that. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one experience of mine.
I think you hit the nail on the head is not caring what other people think because you're gonna do you regardless. They're gonna talk about you whether you're doing good or doing bad. So just do you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self? Which I think we touched on this earlier.
Yeah. Wow. Hmm. Yeah, pretty much everything aside from everything I've said earlier, from support and criticism, one thing that makes me feel inspired is hearing other people's stories,
Mm,
hearing about some of the
yeah.
stuff they went through, and some of the stuff they went through and what made them stronger. And just to see and just to hear about that makes me think about all of my stuff, all of my all everything I've went through.
Mm-hmm.
Like hearing other people's stories has taught me how to humble myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. So if you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it say and why?
Hmm. I do have I do have one idea. I don't know if I can share it on here, but there's a positive meaning behind it. So,
Oh, say again, DJ. I didn't hear you. It broke up a little bit.
oh, okay. I do have one idea in mind. I'm not sure if I could share it on here, but if I were to have anything on a billboard, I would have I've had this idea of starting my own merch where I'm wearing a t-shirt, and pardon my language, but on the shirt it says I ain't no, and the B word. But then at the back of the shirt, it has a positive meaning behind it. It means
Mm-hmm.
the meaning of that word is pretty much not caring about what other people think, not to not to means not to.
Sorry, I'm still here. For some reason, like it dropped me out the call.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, okay.
that's my fault. But as you were saying, what would be on your billboard? I'm sorry, my apologies.
So yeah, no worries, no worries. Um, so so I would have a if I could have anything on my billboard. Wow. Okay. So as I was saying, I would have I would start my own merchandise. I would have a T-shirt which pretty much says IANB. The I is for I, the A is for ain't, the N is for the N is for no, and the hmm keeps breaking up.
Hey, I'm having some serious technical issues right
Yeah,
now. Wow, you
it's
got
all
a
good.
lot of shows, man.
It's all good. No worries. Probably on my side. I don't know. Um, so yeah.
You know,
Anyways.
well, it's dropping me off the call, so I'm assuming it's my side.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Anyways, long story short, I would start my own merch. It would have those four words written on it, and then
Mm-hmm.
on the back of it would have a positive meaning not afraid to take risks, not afraid to not caring about what other people would say, not afraid to speak my mind
Right.
on the yeah, and someone who someone who someone who someone who is motivated. I'm just very motivated.
Mhm.
Someone is willing to, and someone who wants to inspire and be inspired.
Okay, I like that. I love that. All right.
It- that was my idea.
I love it. I love it. So, what's the most important thing you've learned so far in your life and why?
Most important thing I've learned. Wow. Yeah, I've learned, I mean, pretty much everything that we've talked about earlier. I've
Mm.
learned that as long as you live, no matter what you do, people are always going to talk about you. I
Right.
mean, yeah, even after you leave this earth, people are still going to talk about you, whether bad or good.
Right.
You'll always be hilarious to one person, corny
Mhm.
to another, and
True.
an inspiration to one person, a bad influence to another.
Hmm.
Some people will think you're beautiful or handsome,
Yeah.
others will find you hideous.
Hmm.
But I've learned that the world will never agree on a definition of what you are, and that's fine. Like, you
Right.
can't please everyone. Like,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, I've learned that I've learned that I am not for everyone, and not everyone is for me.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Like,
Hmm.
all I can do is be the best version of myself that I can be, and to pay no attention to anything else. Like, I've learned that life is too short to care about what people say or think about me. If someone doesn't like me for whatever reason, that's their loss. That's their problem. And I should just let them deal with that. But I shouldn't let that stop me from being me.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Which actually that might be a good way to go into this next question. In your opinion, what is the best tip for making the world a better place?
Sim just being the best way I well in my own some people might think of this as small, but I think this is very huge. Just being kind, just supporting others,
Mhm.
um, just giving a stranger a compliment, whether you, yeah, just even if you don't, should, doesn't matter if you don't know them, just just to make someone's day, just to make someone smile.
Oh, dude, you'd be surprised how often "be kind" is the response to that question.
Wow.
Yeah. So, if you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
I would tell them, wow, you will face some bumps around the road, along down the road, but don't let that stop you.
Mhm.
I'd also say, I'd also tell myself, never attach yourself to a person, a place, a company, a
Yeah,
project, or an organization. Attach yourself to a mission, a calling, and a purpose only.
I like that. Okay. That's dope. Oh, I like that. All right. What are you afraid of?
Wow. I'm afraid of.
Don't tell me gummy bears.
No, not gummy bears. I like gummy bears. Wow. I'm afraid of. Putting all my time and energy into something and just not getting anything out of it.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We only have a few questions left, and they're going to get a little bit harder. You ready, DJ?
I'm ready.
All right. If in 150 years science fails us all, and the only thing is left is a book about your life, what would the title be, and what would the back say?
Wow. The title would be. Wow. Hmm. The title would be, wow, My Persona, a DJ Wright story. And the back of the story would say, it would be a brief introduction on my life, my career, my impact on the
Mhm.
world. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. That'll be on my reading list. I like that. All
Yeah.
right. What are the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Best resources. Quotes I've read on social media is one of them. Listening to listening to interviews from my favorite entertainers,
Hmm.
and some of the stuff that I've learned during my time in film school too. Those have
Hmm.
been some of my best resources.
Okay. All right. So, last question. I always save the hardest for last.
Always,
All right.
all good.
Where can our listeners connect with you online?
So yeah, they can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok. I also have a YouTube channel now. Everything I've done acting related will be on my YouTube channel, from short films, music videos, commercials, you name it. I will have more stuff posted on there soon. But Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at DJ underscore Wright underscore is underscore the underscore name. And then YouTube is just DJ Wright.
All right, sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
So I want to be respectful of your time, my dude.
No worries, man.
Before I let you go officially, is there any last words or pearls of wisdom you'd love to share with the audience before I officially let you go?
Wow. I would say you're amazing. Okay. If no one has told you that today, this week, this month, or this year, you are amazing. Okay. Everyone, okay. The people around you care about you. Keep doing you, keep pushing. Okay. You will get to where you want to be at some point.
I love it, and thank you, because no one has told me that today. So thank you, I appreciate it.
You're
Appreciate
welcome, man.
But all jokes aside, that is a lovely message, and you are 100% correct. Everyone out there, you are amazing, and thank you so much for tuning into this show. Whether you saw us live or you're going to catch us back when the algorithm circles it through, we appreciate you. This has been Bite the Bullet, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks again, man.
Uh-huh.